project where we are supposed to find shape memory alloys with the required target objectives. For example, a required transformation property for the application of aerospace components. So doing a lot of experiments will be difficult and it's also costly. That's why we have been using machine learning to optimize the composition and processing conditions to get the required target objectives.
Usually in a given material microstructure image, we would want to quantify the defect, but so these defects affect the material's properties and act as a stress concentrator and can lead to the failure of the material. Now, so that's where we would want to quantify the defects. So we start with two-stage process. One is to detect the defects and classify the defects and finally map it with the process.
Deep drawing industry relies on computationally expensive FEM simulations to optimize process parameters and die designs. But exploring vast design space using these FEM simulations is computationally expensive and it prohibits us because of the time constraints. Our solution was to develop a data-driven deep learning surrogate which will rapidly predict field outputs and evaluate the forming limit diagram without traditional FEM simulations.
Essentially involving like metric abstraction and reinforcement learning. So what essentially I'm trying to do is, so there is a class of methods which is called model irrelevance abstractions, in which what you try to do essentially is you try to convert your original problem into a minimal problem and then solve the minimal one so that you never have to touch the original again.
The Indian variants are not very well represented by the human reference genome. So however important the human reference genome is, it does come with a lot of drawbacks. So to look at all this, we thought we could give a pangenomic approach to the Genome India study. So what we've currently done is we've developed a structural analysis framework wherein we're trying to exploit the out degree of a node to directly correlate it with the genetic diversity in a particular position.
Our work focuses on improving the protein function annotation task, and we pose this problem as a generative task where given a protein sequence we try to generate biochemical reactions associated with it. For that, we have an encoder-decoder framework where a protein is encoded by a protein encoder and a decoder predicts an EC number, which is a generalized description of a reaction. And based on these two inputs, another decoder tries to generate reactions.
Quite interesting to see a whole breadth of ideas under one roof. My particular interest was in trying to see where this whole world of AI can meet real engineering. I was heartened to see several efforts where AI is being contemplated to be used to solve what I may just call real world engineering problems.